All right, so when we did the rewind in number one says describe the solution to x is less than 7 in words. So how would we do that? How could we describe in words x is less than 7? I would say something like x is all the numbers smaller than 7. Okay, or you could say something like x is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ... all the way to negative infinity. So it goes all the way down to negative infinity. X could be any of those things. Keep in mind that's just integers, so I didn't put the decimals and the fractions on there. That would also count because those are less than 7 as well. All right, and if we're graphing number 2 on a number line, we would draw a number line. We know that it needs to include 2, so I'm going to put 2 right here. 1, 0, -1, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to draw that whole huge number line, so that's enough for what I need it to be. And then I'm going to put either an open circle or a closed circle. So what's it going to be for this one? Here it would be a closed circle because we have that or equal to symbol right there. And then it tells us x is greater than 2, so then I know I'm going to highlight my line going all the way this way. So it goes all the way this way, and I put an arrow on the end because it goes on forever. So I'm going all the way to the right, so x could be 3, x could be 4, x could be 5, x could also be equal to 2, don't forget that. So that closed circle is really important there. All right, now, let's take a look at this. So what would you need to be able to do to graph this? Because right now, I can't graph this inequality because I've got some stuff with x that I need to isolate. So what could I do to be able to graph this? Well, I need to isolate the variable. And how do I isolate the variable? By doing the inverse operation. Well, right now it says x plus 4 is less than 8. So to isolate that, I want to isolate this x by getting rid of or eliminating this 4 using inverse operations. And to use inverse operations here, what's the inverse of addition? The inverse of addition is going to be subtraction, so I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. Remember what I said yesterday, which is that the inequality acts just like an equal sign. It holds that place. So if you are one of those people who draws your invisible wall, your wall would go right through that inequality sign, okay? So that means if you're subtracting 4 on one side of the wall, you have to subtract 4 on the other. Keep in mind that you aren't going to subtract the 4 from the x. Those are not like terms, and they are on the same side of the inequality symbol. So when you're looking at that inequality symbol, it acts just like an equal sign in that what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I'm going to subtract 4. That side, they are eliminated, and I have x left. My symbol stays less than, and 8 minus 4 is 4. So I have x is less than 4. Now to graph that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an open circle at 4. I know it's open because it doesn't have that line underneath it, so now I'm just going to say x is less than 4. So my arrow is going to go to the left. My arrow goes to the left because x is all the numbers smaller. So 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, all the way down to negative infinity. I don't want to put that all on the board, so I just put an arrow at the end, which lets me know it keeps going forever. All right, what would I do here to isolate the variable? What would I do here to isolate the variable? I'm going to have to add 7 to both sides. Those are eliminated, and I end up with x is greater than or equal to 10 because 3 plus 7 is 10. So that gives me 10. So I put my open circle. No, that one would be a closed one. It's closed because it's got that greater than symbol with an equal sign underneath it, so greater than or equal to. And it says greater than, so my arrow is going to go to the right. So I just have a little bit of space. But keep in mind that actually goes all the way to positive infinity. So I have a lot more numbers there than it looks like, even though that looks pretty small, just because that's where my number line ended. So it's going all the way over to positive infinity. All right. So I would like you to try these at your board. So isolate your variables and then graph them on a number line. And remember, you don't have to draw the whole big number line. Just make sure you have the number that matters. So make sure you have the number that matters. Be careful with your negative signs and your positive signs here. If you look at the number lines that are on the practice sheet, if you're not seeing your number on that number line, you probably have made a mistake. And my guess is it's with negatives or positives. So check those on a calculator if you need to.